Greetings, spiritual seekers. As you all know, we're not born with a human user's manual. And what I mean by that is we're never really taught in education, in our upbringing as leaders, how our inner systems operate or how we can best function. And I teach a fundamental framework about the four systems of the mind, heart, biophysical or body, and energetic or soul. And this is a fundamental framework that I found is universal and has some axioms that will teach us. And the intention of this video and a follow-up video for you all is to not only teach this framework so you can also utilize it to optimize your performance and impact and certainly your fulfillment and connection within. You can also experience firsthand at the end of this video and a second video that'll be about this concept of integration, which we'll get to in the next video, so you can experience them through a practice at the end firsthand. So essentially, these four systems operate within us, and it's how these energies interplay. And I'm gonna walk us through them really quickly, and then we'll do a practice so you can, like I said, experience firsthand this four systems framework. And within these four systems, there's also these three primary gates or power centers or minds that I'll explain as we go through them. So fundamentally, at the base level, at the very top or purely energetic level, we have the soul or the energetic blueprint. And what I mean by that is all of us start at a pure fundamental energetic or soul level, and this consists of the inner energy meridians or pathways or centers, as well as our outer energy fields that science is starting to converge upon the ancient wisdom teachings. So as you start to understand this, the pure energetic level, as it starts to come down into our bodies, as it starts to come down into then the mind and heart, which you can look at the soul or energetic as the program or the main operating system, and then it comes down, and as it comes down, it gets more dense into the mind and heart, which interplay as the software. So firstly, as the energy comes down into then the second system of the mind, one of the two software systems, we'll get to the heart next. The mind, which is essentially what makes up our thoughts, is one half of this software. It creates our mindscape, as I call it. It is the physical brain matter, as well as the nervous system, the spinal column, the vagus nerve, and all of this. And what happens is the energy of the soul, or pure energetic, comes in through the synapses in the physical brain matter, and these channels through these very powerful base 2 or 3, I think 4 or 5 tops minerals like sodium and potassium, operating these gates, which are essentially translating the energy current of the soul or pure energy of bioelectromagnetic energy, if you're with me so far, into synapses. And that's the power of then when it enters the mind system, this software part of us starts to convert this. We get neurons that fire and the brain matter does things, and we get essentially this brain matter, the neurons, the neurosynapses, we get this really beautiful firing of neurons that create the consciousness field, thought, the mind as we know it. And it certainly is pivotal in understanding the nervous system. Now, then we move from the mind after we've come down from the program or the pure energetic or soul level, we've gone into the mind. Then the second half of the software, which is in the heart level. Now, the heart level, we can consider that the feeling heartscape, the emotional landscape, which this physical heart has a heart brain, as we've come to learn. So that's the primary gate that's functioning. In the mind, it's the physical mind or the mind center. So in the heart, what happens is the energy, much like what happens in the mind, as I described, is translated into chemistry or biochemicals, which essentially makes up energy in motion, this pun of emotion. And these biochemicals are what we know as feelings and make up our heartscape, as I call it, or our emotional landscape, which is not only in our torso and our chest, it certainly operates outside of us and in other realms as well. And as I said, the primary gate here is the heart, which we've now learned is another way of controlling the body's functions, rhythms, etc. Right? So we have the energetic, comes down to the mind, and the heart. They interplay with the program at a software level. And then we get into, lastly, the meat suit, as some people jokingly call it, the biophysical hardware, our actual carbon-based suit, which the fundamental of that is the DNA that operates at a very base level and stores the blueprint of the soul, or the pure energetic, into every cell of the biophysical form. So what we have going on is the energy comes in through the software, and then it comes and pulses through this bioelectromagnetic life force, pulses through the organs and various systems that make us up. And that's the hardware that then takes the blueprint through the software of the mind and the heart. And then at the body level, what we have going on is we have mitochondria, we have ATP production, we have all these energetic processes that interplay, that essentially create our biofield, the biofunctionality, and our essential homeostasis or harmony of our hardware and our biophysical. And we've come to learn that the gate here, or the power center here, is the gut brain. So you literally have a power center here, physical brain. You have one in the heart system, the actual heart center itself, the physical heart. And then in the gut brain, we have the, let's say, power center, which will also be a way of controlling and operating within these inner systems. So essentially, as the energy comes down, it gets denser and denser as we get into this carbon suit. You with me so far? So that's the 4 systems. We're not taught this stuff, and in the subsequent video, I'll explain integration. For now, what I wanted to do is end with a very, let's call it, relatively straightforward and basic practice of connecting with these 4 systems, the pure soul energetic or program, then going into the mind, the mindscape, then into the heart, and then into the physical. And we're going to use our breath to connect with and experience these 4 systems, and then we'll wrap up today's video. And hopefully so far you found the information both inspiring, and you can utilize it, and it'll help explain some fundamentals of not only this next video, many other videos that I intend to release coming up in the future on this channel. So let's take an exhale. We've done a lot of talking, a lot of thinking. Shake it out if you want. And let's start by breathing into, we'll skip the energetic, we'll focus on the mind, the heart, and the body level. So that way, whether you're beginner or advanced joining us in the audience, you can optimize your benefit from this. So I oftentimes recommend, especially if you're a beginner, you touch the system or the center or the area we're going to be focusing on. So when we start with the brain, mind center, the mindscape, let's bring our hands, if it were, to our head. And do your best as you're breathing through your nose, using obviously your chest and lungs to breathe, and the diaphragm to inhale and exhale. Do your best as you're physically breathing to feel as if you're actually breathing, connecting with, and that's why we have our hands here to make it a little bit easier as an anchor physically, that as if you're breathing through the mind as well. So as we breathe, we're going to start to connect with the mind center, both the physical brain, breathing into the physical brain, breathing into the actual middle of the brain, the mind center. There's the energy centers here and vital organs. Feeling the pulsing of the breath below in the torso, as well as the energetic pulsing of the breath in the mind, connecting to the physical brain, connecting to the energy of this mind center and this main gate up here. See if you can go a little deeper. Connecting to the nervous system and the spinal column and all of the nervous system and the various ways that this physical mind and the energy of the mindscape operates. The Depending on where you're at in your practice, if you're only beginning, you may not really notice much. If you're very advanced or further along, you'll start to get deeper and deeper into connecting with the aspects of this system as I've spoken to them. Let's do one more inhale and exhale, and then as you exhale, drop down, bring your hands down gently and slowly, put them on your heart center as we drop down to the second software system, the heart, feeling into the physical heart, feeling into the emotional heart, the heartscape as a whole, front, back, top, bottom, around us. The emotions are created here. We may feel them through the physical heart and the heart brain, or the main gate here that sits within the center of the physical heart. These biochemicals can go everywhere and they can be stored anywhere as well. So we're going to concentrate on the center of the chest, connecting with the heart, physical heart, like I said, the heartscape, the emotional landscape, energetics of this main gate here. And on the next inhale and exhale, one last time, dropping down slowly down the center, down, and dropping our hands to right between the belly button and the lower abdomen, the center of this physical meat suit, this hardware, which essentially has a gut brain in the middle. Our vagus nerve runs down through the spinal column and all this good stuff. As we arrive here, many of us oftentimes hold tension, especially in the abdomen and lower back. And as you connect with this center, and when you're connecting more with the gut brain and the power center, the main gate of this hardware system, a lot of our organs are also concentrated down here. Obviously, there's more to the physical outside of this region. We're going to focus our breath here on this power center, this third of the main gates. Gut brain is stored here. As you breathe into it, relax the front and the back, connecting to the body, the biophysical, concentrating the focus with the breath, anchoring to the torso, where the hands are, lower abdomen, front and back. And then lastly, we're going to release the hands and do your best to kind of bring your hands out around you. And really quickly, we're going to connect to the fourth system, the main operating system or the program, the soul or energetic. It's really around us as much as it is within us. So as we breathe, we're going to do our best to feel as if we're breathing around us, much like we did with the mind, heart, and body systems of those three main gates. Feel as if you're breathing, almost as if you're breathing through your skin or around you. Feeling into one aspect of the energy or soul blueprint, which is really the outer fields. Then drawing our hands in, giving thanks. I'm Hasadegi if you're new to me. Thank you if you are a regular. Welcome back. And really grateful for those of you that haven't, that support my mission. You can do so by liking, commenting, sharing this with other leaders you feel will benefit. I'm on a mission. And that mission is to bring more heart and soul to leaders around the world. And I do that by teaching these various spiritual sciences and ways that you can do the inner work and advance and accelerate on your inner work and spiritual journey so you can bring about practical shifts and big breakthroughs. So you can support me here and on these other channels. Reach out if I can be of support. And please do check out the second of this two-part series, which will focus on integration. With love and blessings, I'll see you there, and take care for now.